AI agents aren't a concept anymore. They're working right now. Today, I'm launching HireVoice, an outbound AI voice agent that turns first contact into confirmed meetings. In the next 60 seconds, you'll see it call, qualify, and book a meeting to my calendar. No human required. Before I show you the demo, I'm opening a limited early access pilot project for enterprise teams, heads of HR, heads of SDR, heads of talent acquisition. If you want first mover advantage, grab a slot now. Links in the description and on the screen. Okay, let's jump into the demo. Fantastic. We are on the HireVoice web form page where all the information gets submitted. So we have the candidate information, we have the company information, we have the hiring company, the hiring opportunity, and the recruiter name, which in this case is Jensen Wong at NVIDIA. So I'm going to hit submit on the form. The agent is going to give me a call, and then we're going to get right into the demo.
Hi, Mike. This is HireVoice calling on behalf of Jensen Huang at NVIDIA. Is now a good time to talk for a moment?
Yes, now's a good time. Thanks.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Can I ask a few quick questions to better understand your situation? What's motivating you to consider a change right now?
Sorry, what is this call concerning?
Totally understand. Jensen Huang is working on a search for a SDR manager role at NVIDIA, and your background as a SDR at Dynaflow looked like a potential fit.
Can you tell me a little bit about the company?
Sure. NVIDIA is a technology company known for its GPUs and AI. We play a major role in the semiconductor industry, providing tools and platforms for many applications.
Fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about the job?
Absolutely. As an SDR manager, you'd lead a team of sales development representatives focusing on generating leads and qualifying prospects. You'd develop strategies to improve team performance and drive sales initiatives, and you'd collaborate closely with sales and marketing to align efforts and hit business goals. Thanks. Can I ask a few quick questions to better understand your situation? What's motivating you to consider a change right now?
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm motivated by salary and team culture.
That makes sense. Comp and culture are huge. What's your current or total compensation?
My current compensation is $85,000 USD.
Thanks for sharing. What would be an ideal next step in your career?
As a next step, I would like to be an SDR manager for an AI company.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. Based on your background, I think it would be valuable for you to meet Jensen Huang so they can learn more about you and share details on the role. I can offer Monday 8 a.m., Tuesday 9 a.m., or Wednesday 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Which works best for you?
Give me the first available slot, please.
Let me quickly check Jensen's availability for the first open slot.
Yes, please. Monday, 8 a.m.
Great. Booking Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern now. Confirming Monday 8 a.m. Eastern. You're all set. Thank you for your time. Jensen Huang looks forward to meeting you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to show you the results from this agent call from the agent to the candidate. First of all, the recruiter or the SDR rep will get an email with a Google Calendar invite, which is what you're looking here. So all the recruiter or the SDR rep has to do is click accept, and that will go right into their calendar. And you can see here is the calendar invite via Google. It's a Google Meet, and it says HireVoice intro call between Mike Armstrong and Mike Armstrong, which in this case, I'm the recruiter and the client. So that's a Google Calendar invite, all done automatically, all done through the agent. This also gets put into a data source. In this situation, it's a Google Sheets, and you can see that there's a call ID. The recruiter name is Jensen Wong. The candidate name is Mike Armstrong. The position is sales development, SDR. Company is that the candidate works for is Dynaflow. The position being pitched is SDR manager. The company is NVIDIA. And then going further over, this is the database. You can see salary, the date and time where the meeting is booked, and then just a quick summary of the call. Now, this will also get put into a Google Doc report for the recruiter or for the SDR rep. And you can see here HireVoice candidate brief with the candidate name, the opportunity, and some key facts. This is interesting because it says here that the candidate is motivated by salary, company culture. It has the candidate's salary. It also has their ideal next step. And then it has a summary: interested and motivated by salary and company culture. Follow up via email to coordinate a meeting time. The other cool thing about this agent is that you notice when we put the company and the opportunity in the form, NVIDIA and SDR manager, and then me, the candidate, I asked the agent about those things. The agent extrapolated some information just from that one word in the form and gave me a robust pitch of the company and the opportunity itself. So the benefit to you as an HR leader or an SDR leader is that your team doesn't have to do this stuff. It's all done automatically. And when we scale this out, this is when it gets really interesting. And so on that note, let's move into what the ROI looks like. We are in the Dynaflow Voice AI ROI Calculator. This is where you can see the cost savings and the massive benefit of implementing voice AI into the early stages of your outbound recruitment or sales processes. Typical team doing 150 calls a day. So this would be 2 people doing around, I guess let's call this 75 calls a day each. And so that's 2 full-time employees. It's going to cost you around, let's just say on average, $12,500 for two employees. HireVoice will cost, say, estimate, this is at scale, around $1,500 a month. So basically the human cost for 2 people doing this is $12,500, and HireVoice, the agent, is $1,500. So that's $10,000 saved a month. Over 1 year, that's over $100,000 saved. You can see here at the bottom, we are saving over $120,000 per year. This is if the humans are doing outbound outreach, cold calling all day long. Now, if your team is doing other things, then these savings and these numbers will be a little bit different. But scale matters. So if you want to scale this out to, say, call 20,000 people in your database, or 20,000 candidates, or 20,000 sales customer prospects, AI can do it in 2 weeks, essentially, right? So here is the time. AI can do this in 2 weeks, and this is going to take a human 500 days to do this. So that's what scaling looks like with AI, and what it looks like without AI, with just a human. Cost comparison, you can see AI is way cheaper. So this is what the calculator looks like. You can see you're saving a lot of money, up to $120,000 a year, just by implementing voice AI into the early stages of your process. I would also like to say at this time that our product, HireVoice, is not designed to replace your TA or your sales, your SDR team. Is designed to help them. It's designed to do the heavy lifting in the early stages of the process. So your recruiting and your SDR team can do more meaningful, more high impact, more high value activities. For example, if you want to repurpose this agent just for scheduling, so you're a recruiter or you're a head of recruiting, and you want your recruiters talking to candidates, not chasing them and trying to schedule meetings, we could repurpose this as a scheduling agent. So it calls up and just schedules meetings for candidates, for your recruiters. That would save them a lot of time. And when you save time in recruitment and sales, you save money. All right, let's move into the tech stack. I want to show you what this agent looks like on the back end, which is really interesting. Okay, if you've made it this far in the video, you are an absolute champion, and I would like to personally thank you for your patronage. Also, if you're interested in connecting with me, go to my website, which is dynaflow.ai, and at the top you can click book a free AI consultation call. Just click that button. That will take you down to book a meeting. Then very simply click on this button, book a free AI consultation call. This will take you to my Calendly calendar, which is all automatic. And then you just click a date that you want to meet with me. And then you click a time, you click next. And then in these details, enter details, your email and a reason for connecting. And then I will give you or offer you a free AI consultation call up to 30 minutes. And we can look at your recruitment or sales process in the early stages. And I can advise you on how AI automation and voice AI automation, how you can benefit from that in the early stages of the processes in your businesses. I think this product in particular would massively help SDR, sales development representative teams, as well as recruitment teams in the early stages of the process. Now we're going to quickly look at the back-end tech stack. So for the agent, I am using Retell AI, and we can see here there's a prompt which we have created, and it says you are HireVoice, an AI voice assistant, partnering with, then we have some dynamic data in here. So you're partnering with the recruiter name and the hiring company name. So this is the information that gets submitted into the form. And so we need to create an agent with dynamic data that that takes information from the web form that we filled out. And then it says here current time. I'm using actually EST as current time, like Eastern Standard Time, which is important. I think you need to assign a time zone to your agent so your agent has context in terms of what date and time it is. And then the role, which is the hiring opportunity, hiring company. So this again is dynamic data that's coming in from the form the agent is taking in. And then candidate first, last, title, company, phone. Again, this is all dynamic data, which is coming in from the form which we looked at in the beginning of the demo. That's here. So this is all the form information. So all this data is getting brought into the agent as dynamic data. And then the speaking style, your friendly, human, respectful, concise agent. So this is instructions as to how you want your agent to talk and sound. Then down here, we have some examples. Hi, candidate name. This is HireVoice calling on behalf of recruiter name at hiring company. So remember when the agent called me in the demo, it said, hi, Mike, this is HireVoice calling on behalf of Jensen Wong at Dynaflow. So that information is all being brought in as dynamic data. And then if the candidate asks what this is about, what is this about, which I did, you have a bit of a blurb here about that, again with dynamic data. Then there's some qualifier questions that we ask. This is the agent asking the qualifier questions. By the way, we can repurpose these questions for HR, for sales, for SDR, for surveys, for marketing. But in this situation, it's recruitment. So the first question is, what is motivating you to consider a change right now? Acknowledge. What is your current compensation? What is an ideal next step? All right. So we go down through this prompt and then we add some JSON here where we are going to send this dynamic data that the candidate has offered us in the phone call. We're going to actually send that as JSON back into an N8N workflow. So that's what this is for. And then by the way, if you would like this prompt, please comment in the comment section and we can arrange for me to send you this prompt. Also, we've got some examples down at the bottom here where like cadence examples that we give the agent. I think it's a good idea in your prompt to give the agent some examples so the agent has context as to how the conversation flow will go. And then at the bottom, welcome message, user speaks first and dynamic AI starts speaking after silence, dynamic message based on prompt. At the top of the agent, you can see we are using GPT-5 as the LLM. You can actually switch the LLM and you can see the costs of this. This one is costing me 0.04. I think Mini is really cheap, but if you go into GPT-4o, it's 0.05. So actually GPT-5 for some reason and Retell AI is a little bit cheaper. I really like Retell AI as the agent orchestration platform. It's quite powerful, it's scalable, and as a person who's not a developer, I'm a recruiter by profession, I'm not a developer, it's really easy to build this stuff. It's a low-code tool and it really helps you build stuff quickly. We can select the voice using this section here, and for the voices I'm using a platform called 11 Labs. I really like 11 Labs. It's my favorite product for voices in AI, and I'm using a voice called Simo, and I like her voice. She's American, she sounds cool. It's a multilingual orchestration platform, so we can pick this agent to speak in any language, and in this case we're going to speak in English. But if you want to create an agent across various regions, say Japan or Korea or Indonesia or Vietnam, I'm not sure they have all those languages that I mentioned. You can see all the languages here that they have. It's quite a few. We can go into more detail in another meeting. And then you can also see the cost of your agent across the top here, which is really helpful. I've also created some functions for this agent. Got an end call function. We have a create booking call function, where I use the cal.com API, which is really handy. Actually, if you need availability, I definitely recommend using the cal.com API because you can ask your agent to go out and get availability using the cal.com API, which happens in the background. You don't have to do anything. You just have to link it up to your calendar. And then I have a check availability function as well, which also uses the cal.com API to check availability, where I've linked my cal.com to my Google Calendar. And so it just checks that automatically through the agent. So that's a little bit about Retell AI. Let's go into N8N now. So I have one workflow, which actually so this is the first workflow. Let's copy this to editor. So this is the first execution. So this happens after the web form. And so after the user fills out the web form, this information actually gets sent into the first N8N workflow as a webhook. And then I have an edit fields node, which just manages the information. You can see the information across the top here. And then it goes into an intelligence component where we create a system prompt and we actually ask the agent to manage this information. The reason for this intelligence component is in case the candidate on the other end of the call asks about the company and the opportunity. And so this is the part that I was talking about where, all you need to do is put NVIDIA in the web form here. And then the agent has an intelligence component. It will take the word NVIDIA and then it will extrapolate that and will give, you can see it here. NVIDIA is a technology company known for its advancements in artificial intelligence. So that's pretty cool. And then about the job, an SDR manager, you will lead a sales development team focusing on generating leads. So it's this intelligence component can be infused throughout the backend tech stack I think the really interesting thing about intelligence in automation and AI as it relates to voice is you can scale this. So you put one job, you put one company, and then this can get scaled out to hundreds or thousands of candidates. And that's going to save your recruiter like so much time and headaches. Then we're going into a code node. Don't worry about this too much. I use ChatGPT to create this code. This is a JavaScript. I'm not a developer. This is the power of AI. You can actually ask your ChatGPT to create code for you, but basically this is managing the information and it's building a Retell call payload. So we're going to send this information into Retell AI, and that's what this HTTP request is for. This is sending the data that has been processed and intelligencized, and then that gets sent back into Retell AI. Then when the user provides the information, this will get sent as a function into, so after the agent collects the information in the post-call analysis, you can see here, these are post-call data retrieval functions. And I've got a bunch of them set up here. I won't go into detail on these because we're already 10 minutes into the tech stack part of the video and I haven't even got to the second N8N flow. To be honest, this agent is slightly complex. I wouldn't try to build this at home just from this video. It took me like 3 weeks to build this. And I'm not a developer. I think if you're a developer, you could build this much more quickly. But anyway, we have some post-call analysis functions, and then this takes all the information from the web form and the call as dynamic data, and it sends it back into a second workflow, which is this one here. And so we can see here, this is the second workflow. I'm actually not going to go into the details on this second workflow because it's pretty complex. If you really want me to do a full deep dive into this full agent, just comment in the comment section and I will do so. But basically what's happening in this workflow is the information is coming into the workflow from Retell AI as functions, and then it gets processed, and then there is an HTTP. This is basically this is the section that manages this information and puts the information into Google Sheets and also Google Docs. It updates Google Docs and creates that report that we were looking at. So the function of this workflow is to enter all the information from the web form and the agent, the web information and the voice information. It puts it all into this workflow, and then it creates a database entry, which is this Google Sheets entry. And then also it creates a Google report, which is this. And to be honest, this took a long time to do. It's pretty complex. But the cool thing is when you get information into a database and into a workflow, we can do anything with this information as it relates to AI and automation. And I'm going to actually continue to build out this agent where we create an intelligence component and actually make this report look a lot better. And I'm also thinking we can build some back-end analytics on the back end for the recruiter and for the salesperson to see actually what's happening with the process. And that all comes from the workflow, the tech stack, and the database. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mike, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out. Bye for now.